Hi YouTube family. Today I wanted to talk to you about some lessons I've learned while watching a reality show, I suppose it is. It's called Back with the Ex. And it's not just so much the lessons I've learned, it's what I've recognized in certain couples and certain people that brought to mind very narcissistic characteristics. And if you're able to do this, to watch this show, it's called Back with the Ex. It's on Netflix. And if you follow the show, it's about 7 episodes long. I think it was filmed in 2018, so very recently. It follows 4 couples. So a lot of times, a lot of people will want to get back with their narcissistic ex because, the narcissists have made you feel so loved, and the relationship you had was incredibly special, and you remember all the good times after it's ended. But you're still drawn to that narcissist, even though you know it's over, even though they've abandoned you, or you got to the point where you realized it was so toxic you had to leave. But there may be some lingering feelings for you, so you're trying to get over this, but at the same time they may come back and try to get back together with you. Now, at first I wasn't sure I was going to talk about this show because I was concerned that people watching it will think, this could be wonderful. It could be so amazing if I did get back with my ex. Look at all the energy and fun these couples are having. But the reality really is this. The reality is you're going to be going through a lot of rehashing all the things that went wrong in your relationship. And while you were apart, you probably start to fantasize all the wonderful things that happened. You'll make them bigger than they really were. You'll exaggerate how wonderful it was in your mind because your heart isn't as smart, if you will, is not as smart as your mind. It's not going to be as logical. It's going to miss what it misses. It's going to miss the familiarity. It's going to miss the great times. It's going to miss the love, the attention, or it's going to miss how comfortable you were with that person for a time anyway. So, the reality really is if you try to get back with your ex, this is what's going to happen, especially with an ex-narcissist, or an ex who is a narcissist. So in this show, what I noticed was there was a couple where the guy who appeared very overtly narcissistic. Like anybody looking at him would think, oh my gosh, what a turkey. This guy is a total narcissist. And I think somebody described him as a narcissistic pig in the show. I really feel for him though, because I do hope that he's changed. I hope that things have changed and he's recognized what he needs to do to become a better person. But what happened with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend was when she was around him, she started feeling a bit of distrust. She started feeling like, she loved him, she still feels love for him, but there was something about him that just was making her quite uncomfortable. And part of that was it seemed like he had changed so much. He was paying so much attention to her suddenly now, and seeming like he's appreciating her and noticing her, that she was so not used to that. So she started feeling a little bit uncomfortable with it, telling him to stop staring at her, stop looking at her so much. And anyway, so what I'm getting at here is your gut instinct. Her gut instinct was, this is not the guy I knew. This is not how he treated me before. And I understand that people change, but if your gut is telling you to be concerned, be aware, pay attention, then you should. Now, there's another couple where I did not catch on until later, in the later episodes, that the guy was a covert narcissist or behaved very covert narcissistically. And the reason I say that is because initially you think this guy is the nice guy, and he immediately smears his girlfriend within the first 5 minutes, talks about how she is so emotional, up and down, and this is the bad side of her. And at first you think, oh, you're just listening to his take on it. But this is actually a red flag, a huge red flag, that if your ex is looking at your bad side, focused on your bad side, and explains away who you are or what you did as an insult to you, he will insult you rather than consider maybe he's the cause of the way you're reacting. So throughout the show, throughout the episodes, this girl, her name is Meg, it was within the very first 5 minutes, she got her first red flags. And I didn't realize this for her until later on in the show, that her gut was telling her, get out of there. This is uncomfortable. This is not right. There's something really wrong here. And she was feeling anxiety build up in her. And they tried, both of them, she and the ex-boyfriend, tried to explain it away as, oh, it's just nerves about the show. But I think it was far more than that. I think it was that she knew the pain that he had put her through and what he was capable of. And the covert side of him actually came out throughout the show when you start realizing that he is smearing her pretty much all the time. And his expectations of her was that she should be happy even when he's treating her badly. Huge, huge red flag. And if you don't listen to these red flags, you're going to end up devoured. You're going to end up in a situation where you're going to regret it. You may get yourself destroyed again. And I think this is what she realized. She realized that she was getting set up again for him to just demolish her. But she, instead of listening to her gut, she ignored it. She redefined it. She made reasons, made up reasons for it, new explanations for why she was feeling the way she was. And it wasn't until later in the episodes that you realize this guy does not stand up for her. He smears her not just to the camera, but he smears her to his friends, who then think she's the devil. And he says this. Okay, so at first you think he's right, because he says, oh, she's just very hormonal, or she's very up and down, she's just so emotional. And you might think, well, okay, some women, I notice women tend to be more emotional, up and down, emotional and hormonal and all that. But then you think, oh, poor guy, he has to put up with this, up and down. But then you start to see why she goes up and down when she's around him. Because he continually blames her for things that she hasn't done. For instance, he does blame her for cheating on him. The show doesn't really bring it out as much or focus on that part very much, but he does blame her for that, and she continually tells him she didn't cheat on him. But he expects her to apologize. And no matter how much she tries to explain it to him, he just doesn't get it. He won't. He refuses to see her side of it. So that's another red flag. That's another thing that tells your gut. When you have spent time with the narcissist and you have tried to explain to them, if you're in an argument and you try to explain to them your reasoning, they just can't see it. They cannot see why you react the way you do. They cannot see that they did anything wrong, and they cannot see how they would have caused you to do anything. They cannot see that they did anything wrong at all. And all they can see is how you hurt them. It is quite amazing. So his thinking was, well, every time they get into an argument, she walks away. So he takes that as abandonment. However, the reason she walks away is because he puts her in a situation where his flying monkeys attack her verbally, while he just sits there and doesn't defend her, and doesn't call them off. Or he'll start making remarks that are derogatory and tear her down and hurt her. So she tries to tell him that he's hurting her, and she can't convince him that he's hurting her. So she walks away. And that's when he accuses her of walking away or abandoning him without any reason whatsoever. But what he's really doing is he's projecting abandonment onto her, because he's the one who left her twice. Twice he took off, and not just took off broke off their relationship. He went out of the country, traveling for 6 months or something like that. And that's how he broke up with her. He just disappeared. He left the country. So here he is. He's the one who abandoned her. So then it makes me wonder, when he is accusing her of cheating on him, is it because he has had multiple women and figured that if he's had multiple women, she probably has also. If he's capable of cheating, she's probably capable of cheating. So he projects it on her. So here she is. She feels so alone when when he's treating her this way. When he starts to push her away and tell her what his perspective of what's going on in their relationship is. And she tries to explain to him that it's his perspective, not the actual reality, that he won't hear any of it. So in those situations, you end up feeling like, am I sitting in a room by myself while the narcissist is, just sitting there smiling, thinking like I'm the terrible person and he's doing everything right? Now this is reversed too. This can be where the woman's a narcissist and the guy is the victim. It just so happens that in this show, it was two couples that I could notice, one with an overt narcissist and one with a covert narcissist. And both of them were guys. Now, there's another couple where the woman appears, actually both of the women appear narcissistically. I won't say that they are narcissistic, but one's very controlling. And then the other one is very ungrateful, I guess. She takes for granted the guy so much, but there are other issues that were going on with those other two couples. So I just wanted to say that, if your gut feeling is telling you, run, go the other way, I don't feel comfortable with this person, and it's your gut's reminding you of how you felt when you were with them, that's exactly how the narcissist wants you, back where you were when you were originally with them. You were the one that was being taken advantage of. You were the one who was kind of, how do I put it? You're the vulnerable one. They want to see you as the vulnerable one that they can mold, that they can change, that they can blame, that they can put down, that they can control, and do whatever fits their life or gives them what they want or need. So you feel, again, like you're vulnerable when you're with them. And if you're feeling vulnerable with them, and as if they possibly don't really care about you, listen to that gut feeling. Because what's the worst that can happen? You walk away from somebody who was toxic for you anyway. And it's really your imagination that makes you want to think that they've changed, or that there could be something wonderful and good here still. It's also your good nature, your nature to give people another chance and want to trust another person, or you want to deny your gut because you don't want to seem harsh. And I think that's what happened with Meg in the show. She kind of gave in to how he was, how charming and fun and exciting he was, how adventurous he was, and how much laughter he'd bring into their relationship. But really, the woman that I was most impressed with was one of the other couples. Her name was Lauren. Now, she was with the guy who appeared to be an overt narcissist. And at the very beginning, she was already sure of who she was. She knew she had changed. She's no longer that vulnerable little person that she used to be. She's this strong woman, independent. And not only that, she knew what she wanted. She knew how she should be treated. She had standards now that she didn't have before when she was with her ex. So when she came into this show to meet her ex to see if they had a second chance, if there's any possibility of a second chance, she right away told him that she's not the same person that he once knew. She's now more independent. She's more sure of herself. She doesn't allow people to walk all over her anymore. And she wouldn't allow him to control her anymore. She realized that. And I think that's such an amazing lesson for everybody. If you watch this show, you'll see her throughout the show hold on to her boundaries, hold on to her standards. You see her as, she's quite a soft and gentle woman, but she knew who she was. You can be soft and gentle and yet strong. And I think that's who she was. And I want you to realize that, it's okay to be soft and gentle, but it's also okay to be who you are. It's good to be you. It's good to be strong. And don't feel bad for being strong. And don't feel bad for telling somebody, I will not be treated like this anymore. I just don't accept that anymore. You don't have to even be mean about it. And she wasn't. I don't think she was mean at all about her standards when she was speaking to her ex. So YouTube family, I think that, if you want to watch this show, it would be great, because I want to do a series on this. And this first one is about trusting your gut. If your gut is giving you all kinds of red flags about what has happened in the past, and you're feeling anxiety well up in you when you're getting together with your ex, run the other way. I kid you not. That will save you so much pain in the future. You don't need to rehash all those horrible lessons you learned the first time around. So YouTube family, I hope this has been useful, and I hope that you are healing. I hope that you're finding lots of joy and wholeness. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments. And if you liked it, please like the video. And I'll talk to you soon.